Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into the Pro Football Chase podcast. It's Isaac Saenz with you. Joining me for an interview today is Buccaneers wide receiver Bryant Mitchell, who just signed another one-year deal to return to Tampa Bay. So, Bryant, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, man. Just dealing with this coronavirus. You got the shelter in place. Try not to go crazy being in an apartment, man, but all is good. Excited to get you on the podcast and chat some football.
No, man, I truly appreciate it.
All right, well, Bryant, let's go back to your college days. I know it's been quite some time, but you played your college ball at Northwestern State, where you recorded 53 receptions, 564 yards, and 5 touchdowns over 2 seasons. So I ask you, coming from an FCS program, can you talk about your time there and how it molded you into the player you are today?
You know what? It was a great time, a great experience. I was very fortunate to be able to attend. I didn't really handle my business on the front end, so I put myself in a position where I had to go there. But like I said, I was very fortunate to be able to go there. It helped me in so many ways by just showing me what it was like to really have to grind and what it was like to not really have everything afforded to you. And I think that ultimately pushed me to want more for myself and want more out of my career. And I did the work to get there, and God blessed me in a way to where, man, now I'm in the NFL.
Now, you went undrafted in 2015 and signed with the Edmonton Eskimos shortly after. What went into your decision to join the CFL instead of exploring other potential NFL options at the time?
Oh, man, honestly, so I had come out of college. I tore my labrum in my right shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And just going into my senior season, I just, was a little timid on it. First surgery I've ever had in my life. So, man, just coming back timid and just not playing the way that I wanted to play. Honestly, the NFL wasn't really giving me a true look. I ran a bad 40 due to my shoulder. Man, just wasn't able to really move. And to be honest with you, man, it placed me in a place that I needed to be, the perfect place to grow me. And I had some interest up there, but not much interest in the NFL. So it was the best option to get to where I needed to go.
Now, Bryant, you played 3 seasons for the Eskimos. You totaled 97 receptions for 1,418 yards, 6 touchdowns. Now, with 60 of those catches for 867 yards and 3 coming during a breakout 2018 campaign. So, what went into your immense production and steady improvement over there in Canada?
Honestly, man, opportunity. God presented the opportunity to me. I think I was on pace to kind of do the same thing the year before in 2017, and just was taken. That opportunity was taken away because some injuries some guys had, and so that's why I got the opportunity. And when they got healthy, I lost that opportunity. But in 2018, I was afforded the opportunity to actually play in those last 10 games. And I think I showed what I could do, with the hard work that I put in over the years and, being able to have that actual opportunity. And again, like I always say, like, man, it was a God blessing me to be able to, go out there and show what I could do. And it paid off.
Now, I had another CFLer on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, and I was picking his brain about what he liked the most about the Canadian Football League. So for you, Bryant, what were some things that you enjoyed playing in that league?
It was a fun game. It was probably the funnest game you'll ever play. To be honest with you, man, it's a receiver-driven league in the sense of, having the waggle, having the different angles, the way you can move on the line, just being able to really work your craft in different avenues. It was so fun. So taking that away from the game, and just being able to learn that and utilize it, oh man, it gave you so much excitement.
I was talking with Winton. He's the other guy who I talked to about the CFL, and he was telling me that actually the fan bases over there in Canada are intense, and you can kind of see that, man, when you show those games on ESPN. I know, like, in the beginning of the Canadian Football League, they'll show some of the games on the ESPN networks. It just looks like the fans, man, are going nuts. Can you talk a little bit about the atmosphere over there?
Man, it's crazy. In some places like Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, even in Edmonton, man, like, that's really what all they have. And with that being said, man, they just truly, are just huge fans. They truly love their football. And that's what they can, go to every week to watch a game. So it's like that excitement for them, man, and them coming out all the time. Like, you're a true fan when it's negative 20 degrees and you're sitting outside in the snow, freezing, watching some guys hit each other. So, man, just that dedication to be out there and always be supportive. I mean, it was truly amazing.
On to the NFL. You signed with the Cardinals on January 10th of 2019. You were waived in May, so I know it was a little bit of a quick stay in the desert, but how did you use those 5 months or so to display your talent to NFL evaluators?
For me, I wasn't truly able to show my talent, but I was able to, show my work ethic. And I think that my work ethic and just who I am as a man of God, I think that shined through when it came to me being released. One of the reasons I was released was, they drafted guys, the coaches who signed me, they ended up leaving. They were fired. And the coaches that came in, hey, they wanted to start their own thing. And hey, I was the odd man out in that situation. But, even from the front staff, man, just my work ethic and, like I said, my faith, it shined through. And they were, calling teams for me to give me another look, and I think that spoke volumes about who they were, as a group of men and who I was. So, yeah, it gave me the opportunity to get over there, to Tampa Bay, and then they got to see what I could really do.
Bro, I really respect you because you're a man of faith, as am I. So it's awesome to hear you talk about your faith in God and your belief in Him. That's awesome, man. That's a message that needs to be heard on a larger scale, man.
Definitely. Not too many people get that. So.
Yeah, so now talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I know adversity struck for you when you suffered one of the most devastating sports injuries, man, an Achilles tear during the 2019 preseason. Can you take me back to the play it happened and what went through your mind, Brian? I saw you were carted off the field. There's pictures of that very moment. Talk a little bit about what that was like.
Man, it was a surreal feeling. I caught a ball, my fifth catch on the screen, and I see the hole open up, and I'm thinking, man, I might take this for 70. And all of a sudden, it just felt like someone kicked me in the back of the leg, and I was like, man, there's no one behind me. And I went to take the next step, and my foot goes flat, and I'm like, oh man, that's my Achilles. So I just drop on the floor, and then it was just like, no, it's all over. But man, it was something because our trainer, Bobby Slater, he walks up to me, and they're doing the test on me to see how I think it's called the Thompson test. And they're feeling my calf to see if my foot would move. And he walks up to me and he goes, and I'm sitting there, just man. And I open my eyes and he goes, it's going to be okay, kid. And man, it was like, in that moment, it was like, he was out of the way. It was like God spoke to me directly. And it was like, I'm going to get the glory. And man, I promise you, if you watch that tape, I kind of look and I sit up. I'm like, okay, God, you're gonna get the glory. And man, just in that sense, that's when it started for me, where it was like, okay, I can't sit here and dwell on it or cry about it and fuss about it, because in this moment, God's gonna get the glory. So in that moment, it was like Kobe said, it was time to work. It was just time to get back to work. And that is how I feel like he got the glory, because I went every day. I showed up every day to every meeting. I was at every practice that I could be at, unless I had, obviously, something to do in terms of my rehab or whatever it may have been. But everything that I could be at, I was at. And man, I think that showed, and just the man of God, just, hey, like, no matter what's thrown at me, my faith is going to shine through, and God will see me through.
I can imagine that rehab process was very vigorous, daily going at it, attacking it. I can't even imagine what that
Oh
was
yeah.
like, man. But who were some people within that Buccaneers organization or even your family members that helped you stay grounded and focused?
You know what, man? My mother, uh, my kids' mothers, my chief apostle, Wendell Archie, at Refuge Temple Ministries. He's my pastor. My brother, Derek is Purdy. He actually played in the NFL for a while. And, my brothers, even some of my good friends, my best friend, Brandon Zilstra, he actually plays for the Panthers. These are people who really saw me through. Who checked on me day in and day out, who made sure that, I was well taken care of, made sure that, where my head was, always checking in, always pushing me. And, me and Brandon, we actually played in the CFL together. So, man, our conversations would get intense, the days I wanted to give up, it was like, you're not giving up, and, that, and that just, man, when I tell you that helped, you really truly need people in your corner like him. Like I said, my brother Derek is Purdy, my chief apostle, Wendell Archie. You need people like that who are truly going to be on your side when things get rough, who can tell you the truth, but also love you through it. So it was amazing to have them.
As mentioned at the start of the interview, you got a new one-year deal with the Bucs. How grateful are you for another opportunity with the organization and Bruce Arians?
Yeah, man, I'm very grateful. BA is a great coach. He's a great man. One thing I love about BA that many people don't get to see is how much of a family man he is. And for me, I have three little boys. I have my oldest son, King, who's 9, and I have twin boys who are 4, it's Caleb and Cameron. But man, like, he's always like, hey, like, when we have our Saturday walkthroughs, bring your families out. I want your families here. I love to see the little kids running around. So for me, that speaks volumes about a man. When we're in such a rigorous sport and we're in such a business like sport, for someone to still have that family bond, that family feeling, man, it's truly amazing. Like, I could say I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Now, Bryant, the question I'm sure everyone has been asking you, man, how excited are you to be teammates with the greatest quarterback in NFL history, Tom Brady? He signed with the Bucs. He had his telephone conference earlier today on ESPN talking about how he wants to meet all his new teammates, man. What are your initial thoughts getting to go to work with Tom Brady?
I'm elated, man. I'm a learner. I love to learn. I love to, know more about the game. I always feel like you can learn from even the smallest child. So learning from someone who's been doing it for so long, from someone who's seen it in so many different ways, from someone who's won so many Super Bowls, thrown to so many different receivers. For me, that's huge. For me, that's like, man, like, I just can't wait. And man, even going back to my college days, just talking to some of my boys and, even some of the trainers, man, I could they'll tell you how much I talked about catching balls from Tom Brady one day. So for me, it's only, it's a dream come true. And man, I'm just like honestly ready to get on that field. Like if he called me today, I'd be there,
Yeah.
So I'm definitely excited, man.
And Bryant, how are you feeling physically? I know that you underwent that Achilles surgery a while ago, but how are you feeling out on the field? You're cutting. Are you feeling pretty good right now?
Oh man, I feel amazing. It's crazy how strong our mind is. I'm 7 months out, but I'm doing everything. I'm 100%. I've been cleared. I've been 100% go for a couple weeks now. So just being blessed to be able to heal in the way that I did, and just feel good and not have any setbacks. It's been such a blessing, man. And like I said, I'm just ready to work. I'm ready to get out there and do what I can to help our team win.
The 2020 NFL draft's coming up here in April, and so you have obviously trailblazed your own way to the NFL, going to the CFL first. Now, there's going to be a lot of draft prospects that may not hear their name called in the draft. What is your message to them and how they can continue to push forward?
Keep the faith. Never give up and work hard. If you really want something, you're going to show how bad you want it by how hard you work for it. And that's with anything in life. The moment that you tell yourself that this is what you want to do, write down that goal every morning and go push yourself towards it every day. Utilize every resource that you have, expend every resource that you have, do everything that you can to possibly make this happen, because it only comes around once in a lifetime. And when it's over, it's over. So, do everything that you can. I don't care what it is. Take those trips to go work out with guys that you normally wouldn't. Reach out to people that you normally wouldn't. Network with people you normally wouldn't. Spend that last $100 on bettering yourself. Forget the Jordans, forget the women, forget everything that takes your focus away from what you're trying to do and God, and truly focus on those things. And I promise you, the sky's the limit.
Well said from Bryant Mitchell, the Buccaneers wide receiver. Well, man, I appreciate you taking the time to join me for an interview today, man. I wish you nothing but the best moving forward, and I really hope that you continue to thrive and get your opportunities at the NFL level, brother. So take care, and God bless.
Thank you. God bless you as well.